So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends, I'm Prairie Vintage. My name is Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube. I use spirit, my intuition, the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, fabulous viewers. I hope you guys are all doing very well. You guys are all very safe and welcome in this space with me today. Today's reading, we'll be taking a look at the connection, the person on your mind, and where is this connection headed? Where's it going? What's going to sort of happen next in regards to where the energy is at? Now, please keep in mind that energy is not on a fixed timeline. It's not set in stone. It is fluid. It's not linear. And so therefore, this reading is not necessarily predicting in hard set facts what's going to happen. This is indicating the trajectory of energy as it sits at the time of this reading. If I were to do this reading a few minutes later, a few seconds later, the reading could be completely different based on people's free will and conscious choice, okay, to make decisions and to be aware of what decisions they're making and make different decisions based on frequencies of energy. So I can't control this, and no reader can predict anything with certainty, especially not timelines. Okay, so you could certainly be tapping into passing, present, future state of the connection you came here about. You could be tapping into another connection that pulls through that might still resonate for you. Okay, and you might click on a pile, or there might be a message for you, but it's not your connection, and that's fine too. You don't have to sit there. You don't have to listen to it. Sometimes knowing what it's not gives you contrast to know what it is. Okay, so that could be why we click on piles that aren't our pile. So whatever happens here, sort of keep an open mind as to what pulls through, but do not force it to be your connection at all. Okay, so beautiful angels. Pile number 1, we have This Might Hurt Tarot. Pile number 2, we have Tarot of Oneness. Pile number 3, we have the Kauai Tarot. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Option number 4, we have the Monet Tarot. Okay, so I will leave these here and the video running for a bit. Use your intuition to call you into the pile. I think I will do a quick energy check at the beginning just to make sure we've tapped into the right connection. Okay, and then we will get into the bulk of the reading with just the tarot, looking at where the connection is headed between you and the person that you came here about. Okay, so I'll put the timestamp in the description box and in the pinned comment below. It will take you guys directly to your pick, and I will see you at your pick. Hello, gorgeous. Pile number 1, you guys pick This Might Hurt Tarot. Let's take a look at the connection you came here about, the person on your mind, and we're looking at where this connection's headed. Okay, I do suggest you go listen to the intro so that you know what this reading's about. Okay, if it's your first time here at this channel, then just know that I'm reading energy using my intuition, the tarot, and spirit. And there's no way for me to tell which is your energy and which is your person. Okay, so you'll have to assign who is what, and it's absolutely fine for piles to sort of come reverse, flip-flopped, meaning I might call it you and it's your person, vice versa. Okay, so assign whoever to the energy, but do not force it to fit, and do not come with any preconceived notions of anything. Okay, intuition is different than assumption. When we're assuming, we're using our mind, and it's stemmed from fears and subconscious and beliefs. That's not what I'm reading. Okay, I'm reading energy and with reality here with a capital R, which is different than potentially your fears. So weird. I don't generally give that sort of a statement warning before reading, but let's see. So we're going to do an energy check for pile number 1. Energy check, spirits. Pile 1's here about this connection, and they want to know where it's headed. But can we tap into pile 1's energy of the connection first to see the baseline of what is going on in this connection, so that pile 1 knows whether or not this is their pile? Thank you, spirits, and thank you so much, pile 1, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. 4 cups in reverse. The chariot, Cancer energy. 4 of Wands in reverse, 9 of Pentacles in reverse. Why is the 4 cups here in reverse? Why is the 4 cups here in reverse? 6 of Pentacles in reverse. And why is this chariot in reverse? And we have the King of Pentacles coming out. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. I swear I thought I saw one flip. No? All right. 4 of Wands and the 9 of Pentacles reverse, clarified by the King of Cups. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. We have 2 wands. Under 2 wands, we have the Ace of Cups. For some of you guys, it is coming through same sex. It doesn't have to be. Could be both of you guys carrying masculine energy. This came out in yesterday's reading, so it could be tied. We'll see. Page of Wands under that. Okie dokie. I guess I should have grabbed the wand. Let me take this one here. Okay. Just give me a bit to tap into this energy. Okay, I'm feeling 2 energies. 2, and I don't know which side you're on. Okay, there's 2 people here, and I feel there might be one person sort of pulling towards another that might be pulling in a different direction. Okay, so one energy, I read this as potentially felt rejected in this connection, might have started becoming bored in the connection, might have felt rejected in this connection. And one of the big reasons was because it felt fairly imbalanced, or they were feeling like they were giving way too much to this connection. It was exhausting. It tired them out. Or also there's something around maybe potentially wanting some form of commitment, stability, or something to build upon. And they have decided to pull out of that sort of circumstance or this connection and move forward. I think this is your energy, okay, to go find what you want elsewhere, because maybe you were feeling like putting all your eggs in this basket that wasn't amounting to something more stable and grounded and rooted with this person, because this person might have been somebody who didn't want commitment, who was potentially maybe more focused on their own sort of independence and freedom or something like this. Or maybe they were dependent on another community or even a family situation. It could be, if you do know of this person being in a third party committed relationship, it could be that, okay, as well. But for whatever reason, it's like, I'm no longer satisfied in this situation and I want to move forward. And I do feel like this might have taken some time to accept some form of, like gain some sort of strength in wanting to bring it upon yourself to move out of this situation and to go find someone maybe who wants to commit to you or build your own sort of empire here. Although you do probably feel a lot of love here with this person, because I do feel it might have been quite some time or challenging here for you to pull away. Yeah. And so, yeah. And so that's one energy. The other energy I feel is the other person, which could definitely be your person. Okay. But assign it as you see fit, is now looking at what they sort of created here. And they're like, whoa, what do you mean pile one is no longer putting up with an imbalanced situation that I was receiving all the benefit here from, cozy in my little chair? I wasn't investing. Now I got to come towards pile one. I want a new beginning, but I'm sitting here right before coming forward to communicate that I want this. And I'm kind of looking at two worlds right now. One world is the world that I talked about, that you know that the person was choosing, that was leaving you feeling rejected. Their family situation, their community, their independence, their inability to give, whatever the one wand is. And they're looking at the other wand, which is you, which is love. But I love pile one. I want to start over with pile one. I can give love to pile one. And so I better come forward and communicate to pile one how I feel. And then I want to start giving emotions to pile one. But there was a lot around stability, commitment, and a practical 3D world. And I don't necessarily see that this person is looking at what sort of practical world can I give to pile one. They're just looking at this sort of love that they feel, and they want to have a new beginning. And I don't know if it's just beginning again from some place of some emotional spot that has no follow through or nothing except for communicating emotions here, and I don't even know how much of a communication of emotions you're going to get, so much as a page level and a seed of emotion. So this could be, I miss you. This could be, I love you. This could be, I want to see you again. That's about it. I don't see any explanations. I don't see anything further than that. But we're kind of now getting into what might, where this is headed. So, I'm at as well. The Hangman. Yeah. So I will read this as your person here with the decision. And they're still contemplating. They're still sitting here about to pull the trigger on how to communicate. And it could be that they understand that you had some form of requirement based on what you wanted to receive that would look or appear a success to you. And so I think there's some sort of trying to put together how to come forward, hence maybe why they're still paused here contemplating. But the fact that we have the Hangman means that there's been a change of perspective. So if this person had one sort of understanding about why they needed to stay in their one wand, there's some form of epiphany or understanding. And so for some of you guys, if this person hasn't said, I love you, then it's like a realization that they do. And this could certainly be what they're communicating to you. But again, I don't feel there's a whole lot of explanation or a lot of meat to a lot of this thing, but it could just be saying something different. And so if they kept saying whatever, fill in the blank, I can't, or I don't know. Or my favorite, I'm not ready, but please give to me. Then it might become, I think I might be ready, Or it might be, well, I know I love you. Or it might be something like this. Okay? Yeah, it's like, I just want to stop the hemorrhaging. I want to stop the separation. I most likely have been pushed out or just not receiving for some time here. Enough time for me, talking as your person, to sit uncomfortable and reconsider what it was that I was saying and be forced out of that position in order to come back to pile one's world. And maybe if I give a cup to pile one can keep filling my cup again. Okay, but there's concern around this because I don't know necessarily what it is. So let's see if you resonate with that. Bundle of joy. Someone might be pregnant. Someone might need to be cautious if they don't want to be pregnant. Okay, let's take a look at where this is headed. Spirits, pile number 1, the connection they came here about, connection we just tapped into. Can we take a look at where it's headed? Where is this connection headed for pile 1? Thank you so much, Spirit, for this message. Please protect me, the viewer, and this connection for the greatest and highest good of this connection. Where is this headed? Right here, right now. Thank you so much, Spirits, for this message. I feel like breaking this energy up. I don't know what perspective this will come through from. Okay, so let's see. Pile 1 and where this connection is headed. Of the Star in reverse, Aquarius energy. Wheel of Fortune in reverse, 2 majors. Oopsie. Boop. Pile 1. This connection, where is this headed? Oh, this is a special card in this deck. It's kind of like duality here, the light and the dark. Yeah, the light and the dark, the opposite polarities here. Interesting. Like if you look at this, it's like this side's calm. This side's like aggressive. 2 sides. Okay, let's pull this one here. 6 wands. All right. Let's keep going. Where's this connection headed? Where is this connection headed? Spirits. Where's pile 1's connection headed? 9 swords in reverse. Where is pile 1's connection headed? 10 pentacles in reverse. Okay, why is this Star here? We have the 2 of cups and the Hangman and the sort of horizontal position here. Why is this Wheel of Fortune here in reverse? It's your card. It is the 7 of Cups. And why is this, I don't know what it's called, Yin Yang here. Oh, look at these cards spinning. 4 of Cups, 9 of Cups, and a spinorama here with the King of Swords. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Why is this 6 wands here? I don't know why I overlapped it so much. What is with the 6 wands? 8 wands. Okay, what is with this 9 swords in reverse, Spirit? Can we clarify the 9 swords in reverse? Justice. I just heard, I wish I had, I wish I had, I wish I had, I wish I had. And Page of Pentacles in reverse. The Tower in reverse. 3 wands and 6 swords. Yabadoo. Alrighty, let me really sit with this, okay, before I start to really start channel. Maybe stay till the end as things unfold, because there could be multiple messages here depending on the connection. Okay, this is really clear messaging coming through, okay, although there might be a little bit of offshoots here. but for the bulk of you guys, it's one sort of main message. But of course, just take what resonates here. And I'm still going to sort of read it as your person, because I see mostly it's your person's sort of energy intentionally, because I think the ball is in your person's sort of court here. Okay, if you resonate as how I read the first part there, I still see that your person, and this could be coming from their perspective, okay? So may or may not be absolute truth, but your person, your person is, oh my goodness, now my throat's getting really tight. The ball's in their court to come forward to communicate something to you that's going to actually make things different or change, because you, according to them, are walking away or getting further away. You're moving forward, you're moving on with your bad self. And they're seeing you get further and further, okay? This is a known thing from your person. And so I don't know how long it's been, but the longer they wait, they feel as though their chances of having anything to do with you is going to be gone. Okay, things have been stuck. They might be losing a lot of hope. You can as well with the situation, or feel it's hopeless, okay? But it's mostly because of this person's inability to choose and prioritize and get clear and decisive. And so they've had time to sit, and they're still sitting in this period. If you've tapped into the right here, right now timing that I'm reading this, because I still feel like you and your person are in a sort of period where they're needing to come forward, or no contact, or some time apart, or something like this. Now, they really, 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 really want the cup filling exchange. That's what they want. They want the cup filling exchange. Why? Because it makes them feel good. Okay. And so they're thinking about, how do I get my cup exchanged? They do have love here for you. We saw the King of Cups. We see the Two of Cups. So it's not like they don't love you. Okay. Because I'm seeing this as love. Okay. Now you might say, oh, if someone who loved me would have chose me. I agree. Okay. But I'm not the one that says how they feel. I'm just reading the cards about how their feelings are coming through, and how they're feeling is love here. So it's how your person feels love, okay? So your person is also fearful of being rejected, okay? And they're also understanding on some level what it was that was needing to be communicated or resolved in some form or fashion. That was the conflict all along for you and this person. And I don't necessarily think this person has fully resolved, planned, understood, strategized, or completely solved the conundrum that I keep seeing now in every reading coming through with the riddle. There's some thing they're having to solve about this, you, and the other wand. And so this person is wanting to come forward. And of course, they will only really want to come forward if they know that they have a solution and you're going to accept what they're coming forward as. They don't want to come forward and you just slam the door in some way, right? And so they want to come forward with this sort of good news story in some capacity. But I don't, again, think they have the script written or all understanding about this. So it's more like a driver here that's showing of, I want to feel good and I'm going to come forward here. And I'm not certain for a fact here whether this is going to be successful, but I know if I don't, I'm going to forever regret this past opportunity, this inability for me to get with pile number one back in this flow dynamic. But I'm going to have to deal with the situation. And for some of them, it is marriage. Okay. And for some of you guys, this might be deeply karmic here. And they might have repeated a lot of patterns here of this whole thing. And so this is why there's a lot of anxiety around repeating or coming forward with a similar story of the past. So it must be changed in some fashion. Like, what have you integrated? What have you resolved? What's sort of the good news story here that's going to make pile one understand what's different? Because this person, I have a feeling with this, the one that they keep choosing is still, there's still an attachment to that wand. however that be. Okay, it might just be a story that we tell ourselves, a limiting thought about it. Can't let go, can't let go, can't let go. Or the fears around when I finally, unpin that belief or that thing that might be very well rooted, and anticipate something that I might not be able to deal with at this time or be ready for or prepared for, because they see that as a tower. So when I do finally give to you, if I ever give to you, by the way, the thing that made you leave because you're waiting and waiting here, it's a trade-off, then I have to anticipate this tower. And I'm not ready. I'm not ready to part with the family situation. I'm not ready to commit. I'm not ready to make this official. I'm not ready to give to you the thing that wherever you left off with your person, because all your situations are different. Some of you guys were like, I really want to move in, or you have to move to my country, or I don't know, no, you have to, but whatever the next step was, like, let's get married, let's make this official, or what are we, or like, I don't know, like drop the other person, or like, whatever stage you dropped it at, that they wouldn't come forward, is the thing here that requires a trade-off. And so this person feels like they're in a conundrum, because it's like, I will lose pile one forever, and then how am I going to sleep with myself? I'm being called to one by the universe, because this is a karmic thing. They're having to really deal with their greatest fears, or really go through this karmic lessons of sorts to really understand, like, are they just holding back based on fears and illusions? Why do they really need to hang on to that belief story? Like, is it really a thing, or is this just some fear upon conditioning, upon programming, upon some sort of thing here that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, really? No logic. Okay. And they're having to unweave and understand this thing from an inner standing, not necessarily from a mind space, because their mind is really hung on to a belief. No commitment for me, ever, ever, ever. I don't want this. Why? There's a lot of anxiety around this. Okay, but why? What's going on in the subconscious? What karmically are we learning? Why do we keep repeating patterns and maybe connections where we don't commit, or we can't build, or we can't plan? Okay, or just, I am too not ready because I don't have XYZ, the stability. Okay, now this could be a reality. Maybe they live in a shack down by the river. Okay, but point being, this person's being called to work with their circumstance, to become honest, and to not limit themselves and say, because of this, therefore this. That's a big fat assumption. And so they're putting thought upon thought upon thought upon thought, which becomes this 9 swords. This is a sticky note upon sticky note upon sticky note of all of these thoughts that then you go down this trail that's not even reality, but a bunch of assumptions that keep us limited and stuck. And so now we have this big mountain of belief. I can't commit, I can't build, I can't give, because XYZ, LMNOP, QRST, and then there's this sort of anticipation of what might happen. And I want to prevent this at all costs, because this is really rooted in something bigger, bigger, but it doesn't take away from the love they feel for you, of course. And you leaving or you moving forward is triggering this need to act, but it's like stuck in the past. It's like I keep choosing the past. I keep moving backwards, or at least I'm stagnant in the past. And so this is why we never really felt, a movement forward. And it's like everything in life. It's like everything grows and then it dies. And then it grows and then it dies. I'm seeing the Ouroboros. So it's like the circle of life, or the cycle of life, organically closes when it closes. Nothing lasts forever, even a thought and a belief, or an assumption, or a marriage, or another commitment, or fill in the blank. Nothing lasts forever, except the pure divine light of consciousness. So this person is going through a natural phase out, and we can't stop, summer from turning into fall and fall into turning into winter. No matter how much fear we might have, or no matter how much in our mind and sticky note upon sticky note, a belief that if I love summer longer, harder, faster, it's going to stay longer, harder, faster. No. And now I'm hearing, what is that? Daft Punk. Is that Daft Punk? Harder, faster, stronger. And so this person keeps upping their thing with you, I feel, but it's never unpinning. Again, my throat's really tight because I feel like this person needs to unpin the thing that's still tethering them to this power, the thought. So they're going to come back faster, harder, stronger, but so what? Like, I don't know. That's sort of where it's headed, and this is as far as I'm sort of seeing, So I don't know. I don't think any of you guys are sort of coming back here. I see backs turned, and I see you really sort of standing on your hill here of this Page of Pentacle offering that they were ball in their courts to come forward with. And I really feel this is a karmic unraveling of sorts, where this person is going to have to work with the universe and not try to be a cog in the wheel or let their anxiety buck up everything. Because when we get in the way of the universe and the natural flow and progression, what happens is the universe doesn't give a rat's behind, and it creates a tower. It will remove things, make things very, very, very uncomfortable. And so if we are willingly making changes with the universe, there is less suffering. And a 9 swords will become a 10 swords, and that does not feel good. But at least the 10 swords, I sometimes feel is better than a 9 swords, because this is purgatory. You can't escape it. But I do feel like this person, if they're really hung up on that belief in that mind story, then they will hit a 10 swords, meaning you have walked away and they close out their cycle. And that's if they're really attached to that thing. But if they, want to get involved with the decision of the 2 wands and their conscious choice, they could prevent the 10. Did I said wands? I meant swords. If I keep saying wands, I mean swords, okay? The 9 swords turns into a 10 swords. And so if they want to prevent the 10 swords from happening, they have to intervene and get in here. But what's going to happen is this will happen regardless. Their community will suddenly ostracize them. Okay, I'm not predicting what's for sure going to happen there. I'm just saying, like, something like this. I don't know, their wife will leave them for someone better, harder, stronger, faster, or they all of a sudden is like, whatever it was that was pegging them to this belief or this having to stay in this world, it's like it gets pulled from them beforehand. And it's like, oops, 10 swords. And then the 10 swords is really, now I can't really have pile 1, because now pile 1 has found their happily ever after and their 10 pentacles with Jimmy Bob up the street. So then they got to keep seeing Jimmy Bob and you holding hands, hopping down the sidewalk every other day and be like, oh man, I missed out on pile 1 that I was totally in love with the King of Cups and this 9 of Cups and this 2 of Cups. And I knew it then, and I knew it then, and I knew it then. Like, what kind of karma is this, It's shit ass. And it's all because I was sitting here going, who? All right. Well, you snooze, you lose. But this is part of this karmic thing, okay? So I don't really blame your person, because we all have beliefs and we all have things that keep us sort of stuck in our tracks. But then this to me means that this person is not doing sort of the work deconstructing the mind and knowing that they're not their mind. They're not their limitations. They're not their fears. They're not their thoughts. They're not any of that stuff. And so they're being called to really connect to the feels. They're really called to connect to reality as it is with an R. And reality is whatever they're dealing with situationally has expired, is dying, has not been emotionally fulfilling clearly, or else why are they here? They feel not fulfilled in their environment, and this is why they're coming and being pulled. So they're being called to address this, not to cover it up with a Band-Aid, not to make up reasons and excuses, And so this is what I'm seeing here. Pile number 1. I hope this helped you. I love you guys very much. I'll see you at the next one. All right. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. You guys picked the Tarot of Oneness. Gorgeous angels, beautiful souls. I can't wait to get into your reading. We're taking a look at the connection you came here about with the person on your mind. And we're looking at where is this connection headed. Okay, so I do suggest you go listen to the intro because you want to make sure that you're here at the right place. Okay, energy changes with free will, conscious choice. So definitely not predicting the for sure's here, okay? Now, we're going to ask spirits to sort of get an energy check here of the connection so that you know that you've come to the right pile and you can crisscross energies as you see fit. Okay, sometimes I see 1, sometimes I see 2, sometimes I see more, and you will have to sort of determine who you are based on your own intuition, even if I assign it to your person, okay? That's fine, but do not force messages, do not come with preconceived notions and ideas. And this is going to be completely based on energy, which might be different than your own sort of thought stories in your mind, okay? It's intuition based. So important to use your intuition, whether this is your person, your situation, and your circumstance. So for beautiful pile number 2. What is going on in the connection? What is the baseline here of the energy for pile 2 so that they know that this is indeed their pile? What's going on in the connection with pile number 2 and the person they came here about so that they know whether this is their pile or not? We have the moon in reverse, Cancer, Pisces, and we have the Spirit of Pentacles, which is the Queen of Pentacles, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. We have the embodiment of wands, that's the King of Wands. And we have the 3 of Swords. All right, someone's words, actions, intentions created some form of suffering. We're separated from the ones we love. We experience some form of sadness. Okay, why is the moon here? We have the Lovers, Gemini. There's 2 Lovers card in this deck. This is the masculine. Hence, we see 1 person, not 2. And we see the High Priestess here, Pisces energy. And we have the 4 of Cups in reverse, clarified by Synchronicity, which is a special card in this deck. Synchronicities could certainly be anything from dreams, signs, symbols, guiding us in the direction of our path. Okay, Lovers definitely talks about our destined path, our dharma. And here we have the star, Aquarius energy, talking about our path, our destiny. Okay, would be the star. Wow. Wow. Okay, 3 Pentacles. Okay, it's kind of is giving me pile 1-ish vibes too. So let's see, maybe it's a continuation. One time I had a reading with 4 piles. I think it was 4 or 3, but anyway, it was like the same connection progressing in all the piles, which was quite frustrating to me at the time. But anyway, whatever. Let's take a look, because I always want like different sort of piles for you guys, not always the same connection, but I don't control what comes through here, okay? Major. Yeah, and this is at least, well, this is a major, but the synchronicity is kind of with the majors as well. So this is really insane, especially with the star at the bottom of the deck. Wow, okay. Just give me a bit here because there's lots sort of going on. Okay, this is very similar to 1, but we'll see as we go, because maybe the back end is like a complete different sort of where it's headed. So I don't know, maybe Spirit likes to keep us on our toes. Same connection, 2 different outcomes, 2 different paths. I don't know. Maybe this is going to be the flip person. Okay, I just want to give that context before we get our panties in the bunch, and it helps you with your intuition so you're not at the wrong place. So there is something very destined. I think this connection has been divinely guided. And I think from the start, or at least from some point, there's been a lot of signs, symbols, synchronicities, dreams that have been guiding you or your person. I don't know, whoever. If you resonate as you've been seeing this, then you know that this is your energy I'm about to sort of kind of connect with here. There is a desire to build something with this person in this connection. together to collaborate for the future based on this guidance. Okay, but I feel like there was a lot of confusion and a lot of following our intuition. It seems like we're flying blind here. I can't see. I don't know for sure. I have just being shown by the divine. I know I'm sort of protected here, but this seems like something I can't hold or touch or feel or even achieve or reach. It's like some idea. It's a pie in the sky. And I want to touch, feel, and build here because I am here with my 3D body. And so how far down this road do I go towards this person who, by the way, has pushed me out or is wanting to be by themselves? Because this Lovers has one person, and this 3 Pentacles requires 2 people in a love reading to build something here. And I can't force my way upon someone's world. And so I'm getting clear that my intuition is telling me that I'm having to create this 3D world on my own. And I still don't understand fully what this all was about, but I know that I listened to my intuition and I know that I was being guided. I know I wasn't crazy, and I know that I was being guided for a reason, and I know that there's some form of something on the other side of this thing. But right now, it definitely doesn't seem to involve this person. So maybe it wasn't this person. I don't know. But the thing I'm getting clear about is the fact that I'm having to rely on myself, and that building something will come to me with someone who wants to build with me. But that this person that I was sort of dealing with was somebody here who didn't want to work with me and potentially rejected me or made things very confusing, or I was not very clear about where I stood with this person. Could have been somebody who was very giving and very open to this dynamic and wanting to choose to work with this person. In fact, you might have made a choice to choose this person. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're just sort of choosing here if you're not welcomed. And so your person's coming through as the King of Wands, if you resonate as that being your energy. Okay. And you understand that potentially there's an experience here of a heartbreak in having to move away from this person, or that they could even experience some heartbreak here based on their energy, which has produced this sort of more focused on whatever they were pursuing. So they might have had a lot of passion for this connection towards you. You might know this, and so you might know that they might, be heartbroken here in some capacity, or you might just feel like their inability to let you into this world or be a little more self-focused here has created suffering for both of you guys. But either way, I am getting your person's energy. And this is why I say I feel like it's kind of like one in some way, because I do feel like this person's energy is coming strong from the angle of, I don't know energetically if they could feel you getting out of the confusion, or if they could feel the ramifications of this past energy here, because I feel like it's so strong that they even punted you out of this Lovers card. Yeah, they punted you out of this Lovers card. It's like, what do you mean? Like, Lovers is destiny. Like, we were destined. Like, I fell from heaven. Oh my goodness, that's what I was about to say. I felt divinely guided. And I feel like you're saying, I didn't have a choice in like all of these things that I was connecting to and seeing and being guided to. And it was like my intuition kept me feeling like really frustrated with, I had to overcome fears, and I'm seeing like like a shrub, like a shrubby sort of landscape, and like the bush, and you're like cutting through, making a pathway. And it's like, I couldn't see through my way here, but I was being guided here because I knew and I felt there was something destined, or like there was a future here for us. But it's like I got punted out of your world, or I came to the end of the road in some way here. or I'm having a realization that I'm not even a part of your thing. Like, how painful is this? And so your person senses this, whether you've told them or have not told them in some way, or maybe you have. Maybe you said, you know what, like, you are focused on your career or your own pursuit or your own vision of something, and you have no room for me here. So I guess I'm going to have to rely on myself or look for someone to build with if this is what you wanted. It's like, I could be okay here with myself, but I know in order to build something here that I wanted to create, because that's where I was sort of headed all along, and now I built up this sort of understanding in my intuition that that's where I was being headed, only to be empty-handed here in some capacity. And so now this King of Wands is like, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. What do you mean you're going to reject me here? Yeah, I was treating you in some way here that maybe seemed like I was disinterested, or I wasn't seeing the light. I wasn't seeing what was really going on here. But now that you're in this Queen of Pentacle energy, it's like I'm feeling this heartbreak. For whatever reason, when we don't see what's going on here with this King of Wands so much as, why is this heartbreak happening? Like, yes, they feel that you're sort of concluding this, but if they wanted what you wanted, clearly, to let you into this lover's world. So they are obviously dealing with something here. Again, like I said, I don't know if it's career, if it's self-focus in a way here it requires them to be alone, but it's like, well, they're making this decision. And so therefore they're creating their own three swords as far as you're concerned. You haven't created a three swords. They're creating a three swords. And so their energy is coming through here like finally sort of this energy of waking up to the fact of what was going on. It's like they were asleep, this black and white world. They weren't seeing clearly. And it's like, now it's like the sudden realization. Now I know I'm not seeing judgment, but it's kind of like, and this is just missing the trumpet here, but I'm kind of getting the sudden realization of a golden situation. I just heard golden situation here that's slipping through their hands. And it's like now everything's sort of in color, but it's like a reverse, because now it goes straight into this Three of Swords. Because I think it's, you're here, like you already got pushed out. Yeah, it's like these two worlds, you guys. They're in this Three Swords, and they went straight from this black and white, pushing you out to this Three Swords. There's like no middle ground here. So they're waking up to this nightmare. Like, what is this? Okay, so if this made sense to you, we have Gemini, Pisces, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, Cancer, Pisces, and Aquarius energy. Let's take a look at where this is headed then. Okay. Sorry, I just want to make sure it's all mixed good here. So, Spirit, clear and concise message here for the greatest and highest good of beautiful pile number 2. Sorry, I need a drink. Give me a sec. Okay. I get a runny nose when I channel now, for some reason. It's weird. All right, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good. Did I say pile 1, pile 2? Where's this connection headed then? The connection I just tapped into. If that resonated for you guys, then I'm going to take a look. Again, we don't know what was going on with that King of Wands in the background, but you'll know your story. It does seem like somebody who is very attracted to you, somebody probably very confident or very focused on self or focused on work or driven by something. And I don't know, maybe that's what they woke up to, is like now they're the King of Wands facing a Three Swords. Like, were they always a King of Wands? I don't know. Maybe you'll know, but they're definitely coming through as a King of Wands. So maybe there's a motivation here to get what they want because of a Three Swords situation that has been created based on their Four Cups treatment, or I don't know. So where is this connection headed? Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. And this connection, please protect me and the viewer and this connection as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 2. Thank you, Spirit, for this message. And thank you, pile 2, for allowing me to tap into your energy, the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here. We have perspective, which is Hangman in reverse. And we have justice in reverse, which is Libra. So yeah, Pisces, Libra. We have oneness in reverse. That's also special in this deck. So this is like unity consciousness, okay, which is like we're all one, interconnected here with this oneness. It is in reverse. Inspiration of Swords, which is the Page of Swords. Where is this connection headed? So we have the Spirit of Cups, which is the Queen of Cups in reverse, and that is clarified by the Inspiration of Cups, which is the Page of Cups. And I am going to leave this sideways like this right here. We have the Five of Cups in the sideways position, and then Death and Rebirth, Scorpio energy. And Death and Rebirth, Scorpio energy. Okay. Why is perspective here in reverse? Why is this Hangman here in reverse? We have awakening. Did I not say I was feeling the trumpet? Awakening normally has the trumpet. It's like a realization. This awakening has a dove. Is it a dove? I don't know. It's looking kind of angelic here. And we have the Seven of Pentacles, clarifying the justice in reverse. Why is oneness here? We have the Chariot, Cancer energy. And we have the Hierophant in reverse, Taurus energy. The Four of Pentacles and the World in reverse. And finally, or not finally, sorry, we have 2 more sort of cards to clarify here. Why is the Queen of Cups here in reverse? We have the Magician, Virgo, Gemini. And finally, this Death and Rebirth in reverse. We have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And the bottom of the deck, we have the Action of Cups, which is the Knight of Cups. So we're looking at where this connection is headed. And like I said, it's not set in stone, okay? Energy can change. Look how beautiful these flowers are in this card. Gorgeous. Okay. Let me see what I see as far as we can see. This might take me a little bit to channel, okay? But we have a major, but that's special in this deck. Major arcanas here. Wow. What's under this Ace of Cups? We have the Ace of Swords in reverse. I was kind of feeling that energy throughout this reading, this Ace of Swords in reverse. 2 Pentacles in reverse here too, under that. Okay, hold on. Just keep pulling keep pulling cards. This is kind of, I'm not sure. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. All right. I am feeling 2 energies. It is very similar to one. I don't know what the difference is, but definitely it might be 2 different connections. Not the same, but I don't know. That's how it comes through. I feel mostly your energy, if you resonate with the you that I was calling in the first there, seeing the synchronicities and being pushed out, feel mostly that energy here, but then it's kind of changed, and I feel like your person coming in here as well. Okay, so it's exactly as I said. Your person is going to have some form of awakening, and this is my past sort of position here. And when I use awakening, it's like finally when we can see reality as it is, not as we want it to be, not with the fears, not with the lens of our own judgments, perceptions, and 8 swords and all of that sort of stuff. Okay, when we actually see the truth for what it is. And what they're going to be sort of waking up to here is not a good news story. And so this is, if your person would be here, is like sort of saying what's going to happen to you, their person. Okay, and a little bit about what happens to them. So what's happening here is that this person is going to finally have a realization here that they've been in one mindset. Okay, and this one mindset is preventing movement, growth, and this connection from coming together, and has been, because they've been fixated with their blinders on every reason why this couldn't come together, for whatever the reason is, whether it's they think it's valid, not valid, it's still all just mind stories. Okay, and so there is this pending disappointment that's coming fast upon the horizon, where we really feel really, really bad looking back at a missed opportunity because we didn't have the insight. We weren't seeing the big picture. We were too focused with our nose to the grindstone. I feel some of this is your energy as well, but yours is more like the passing that I feel like you've had to go through, because this is really blended, and I'm having to kind of jump between the two, and I'm sorry, but this is how it's channeling in. It's like you've been in a situation where you had your nose to the grindstone, really fixated on maybe one sort of understanding of what this connection could mean, and it was imbalanced, and you were giving and giving and giving to this situation. Okay, I feel like the only difference here is that your person is going to be having this awakening. If not, they're having it right now, and they're going through this sort of reality slowly setting in right now. But I feel like this is old news story to you, because I feel like this journey has set you forward, and because you cannot stay in limbo, you cannot stay in unjust situations. And I think you have been called to really, because I do feel very spiritual here with all of the major arcanas, and of course I read for spiritual connections here, and with that synchronicity, if you were seeing heavy synchronicities, chances are this is very highly divinely guided. And so therefore there was a reason for you to come to some greater ascended version of self. Okay, I don't even like using high self anymore, or like an ascended version. Like there's only one energy of you, the true version of you. It's not a higher version. It's not the best version. It's just the you. But we're not that best version of us until we shed what's not us. We have to unbind all of the conditioning, programming, and traumas and shadows and all of that doesn't actually really exist, just our identifications with those things. And so I feel like this journey, okay, which is very indicative of something that's we've been shown. And once we've been shown, we can't unsee. And what do we see? That we're all connected. Okay, we're all connected here. And so we are learning how to drop egos, shadows, and all of this sort of stuff, and integrate shadow. Okay, and so this is what you're being called to do. I don't know necessarily if you reached a state of oneness. Okay, now it could come in and out of oneness for sure. We're not always at the pinnacle of wherever we are sort of led, because the universe is always unfolding. Okay, it's always manifesting here. And so, sorry, I don't know if you want me to get into the connection. This is more of the metaphysical sort of explanation and 5D sort of explanation of what's going on here, because I do feel like you've been hit with the 5D bus. Like all of this seems so 5D. It's like I was guided. I saw synchronicities, like the lover's path. It was destined. I got bumped out energetically. Like, you'd know what I'm talking about here, because this is exactly what you've experienced, and it's very unjust and imbalanced. And I was giving energetically to it, or physically, or financially, or to this person in some capacity. And it didn't produce. And it's like, okay, well, I'm integrating the shadow part here. And now I'm starting to see and understand things differently, but it's like you're on this verge of seeing this whole situation different. It's like now we can finally cut through some of that moonlight that we were seeing, and the moonlight doesn't always have to be fear so much as it is make sense of the noise, make sense of the confusion, make sense of the intuition. It's like, oh, now my mind and my intelligence is sort of tied to the intuition, and I could see reality maybe for the first time clearly and accept it. And I wasn't getting, I don't know, whatever it was here was not it, or it didn't provide the thing. Okay, your person, whatever. And so your person's sort of way back here having this sort of turn to see what's happened here, because you're going to be sort of here. Okay, and it's like, once you have this sort of aha moment with this Page of Swords energy, it's like you're reevaluating like all of your values in your life, and like, what do you want to commit to, and like what has been conditioning, what has been programming, and what is building a future and a commitment here, and getting very clear about what you want here. And it's like, I don't want to sell out to what I want, and I don't want to just keep pouring and giving to situations emotionally here. And so there's this, like, it feels like you're slowly removing any doubt that you can create the future that you want. And so this is sort of where it turns. Okay, now this is, I'm back jumping to your person, okay? Because they're more in this practical realm. And it's like, whoa, they wake up from the slumber, from the black and white world, realizing that they've had their nose to the grindstone, that they slept on a good thing, that something that was giving to them now left. And they might at some point feel like you did them dirty. Okay, and I'm using strong words. It may not be to that extreme, but it might be like when we're really sort of in our shadow or in our thought, it's like, why'd you go? Or you were given to me, like, blah, 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 like the blame game. Okay, which is the projection. The projections here, and then finally we see clearly, and it's like, whoa, yeah, pile 2 was giving to me, and now they're getting away. And now I'm finally understanding that I wasn't committing to them because I was too held back. And I don't want this to close out, but it's closing out. It's closing out. It's closing out. It's closing out. We have the world, but it's not quite closed. And pile 2 has pulled their love away, and it could be gone forever. So I want to come forward with this apology. And I want to express how I feel. And this is why I said it kind of feels like pile 1-ish, because it's like this person suddenly coming forward, like with some offer of apology, but it's the Page energy. And this Knight of Cups is kind of like to express emotion, but what? There's still no commitment here. And I feel like some of you guys wanted to be in that lover's path, which would require some level of having the same values, or some level of commitment, or some level of understanding. But it's like, are they actually having this understanding of their ability to give to you that, or are they just having a beginning understanding of seeing the situation clearly, knowing that they have to give something here, and so they come forward with this Page apology and wanting to express their emotions? Because what I see here, this is why I doubt the whole thing, is like the missed opportunity with the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. It's like, whoa, I'm going to miss this opportunity forever, so I have to make a choice here with this 2 of Pentacles. And so they come forward out of their slumber, but it's like still not seeing fully clearly with the Ace of Swords in reverse. Okay, but we do see the Page of Swords in the upright. So it's like their understanding of what's going on is getting clear. Like their Page of Swords about this now. It's like, whoa, I can actually see now that maybe I was too narrow and blaming you, like they're so in the weeds of it. It's like, now I'm finally breaking through, but it's like, but they're still not seeing or clear about the decision, or being honest about, and it's not that they're lying, but honest to themselves, or clear about, or fully understanding the truth in regards to the Pentacle here, because I do feel like you are wanting some form of Pentacle with this Hierophant energy, like for them to offer something. But what do they come here with is like a Page of Cups and a Knight of Cups. And so there's a need for this person, if they are going to offer a Pentacle or really be decided in the 3D world, to have a major shift. And this is what we have, this death and this rebirth. And so this seems to me like a cliffhanger, because what I'm seeing here, it ends on these 2 major arcanas, death rebirth and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Like, how heavy is this? And what this is telling me is like, change is inevitable. And this really resonates with pile 1 because we saw like an Ouroboros type of thing, which I was saying was like the circle of life, the cycle of life. It's like the death has to happen for the rebirth to happen. If the death doesn't happen, then we don't get reborn. We're still in the same body and the same thing, but death always happens. It's just a matter of how long we prolong it, right? And so that is the nature of the divine universe, spinning, spinning, spinning. Now, something here is destined, something here has been stopped. And it's like, it's all interwoven into decisions and into what sort of unfolds and how we deal with it. And so there's this resistance to allowing there to be change. There's this resistance to allowing things to flow. There's this delay here in like what was supposed to maybe be divine or something like this. Now the universe keeps spinning. It doesn't stop because we're resisting. But what happens when we have our brakes on something that is supposed to be let go of? Then towers happen and they are not pleasant. We're trying to carry around a dead snake here saying, look at my pet snake, look at my pet snake. But it's been dead for 3 months. That's not a pretty thing, and this is what's happening here. It's like we're carrying around the dead thing, not wanting to let it go. And I feel this is for both of you because I do feel like either, and this is where it's unclear to me, you're carrying around the deadness of this person or what could have been, should have been, because it spoke to your heart. And it's like, it spoke to my heart. And so I can't, and this carrying could just be like a longing. It's like a need to release it or unpin it again, like cut the cord of the connection because it's been over and done with. So you can move on, so you can see what's on the other side, what the universe wants to gift to you, so you can manifest, and we can't just snap our fingers and be like, I'm on the other side now all of a sudden because I know that there's something there for me. It's like we have to get there organically again. The Ouroboros I'm seeing is like the death has to happen. We can't, we could take our own life, but this is talking about this natural progression of something that eventually we just, but I feel like there's a resistance on both of your ends. Like you're hanging on to some thing that you've experienced here. Of course, it was like so many major arcanas. You were divinely guided. You had all this big love. Like, wow, universe, like what? It impacted my whole world. I'm seeing oneness, or at least I'm on this path. And I'm like, flipping my whole world upside down, reviewing all of my beliefs here in some way. And I'm a complete different person. And now I'm like on this path. So that you're on a path and maybe that it's like organic and maybe you're hanging on to this sort of energy and you might feel a little stuck here, stuck in this connection. But it might be that you just understand that this connection's stuck and that you're slowly killing it off in some way energetically. Is like, I have to move on, but I feel a lot of love here. But it's like, that's not the real truth. The real truth here is that if I had a choice to choose this connection, it would be my choice, because again, you want it to be in that lovers thing, but it's like, I have to keep telling myself that it's not happening. I have to, like, what am I going to do? I'm forced into the lovers. Like that's really the thing. Like, I feel you're really forced out. This is really giving me yesterday's reading with that, the desert, the desert, like you're drowning here in a situation where you're just in one person here because your other person's MIA. Now back to your other person. So where's it headed? Well, this person's like still hanging on and still held back in some capacity, but it's like, whoa, what do you mean? Pile 2's getting away here. And so, like I said, they come forward here wanting to maybe say sorry, coming like a page, talking about feelings, but it's like they need to release something in their world and close it out. And so this world for both of you guys is very, very significant because it's in conjunction with this death and rebirth and even this justice here. It's like this karmic cycle that you guys were experiencing is about to close out once we release. And I don't know, only Spirit knows. Do we close it out together as they release what they were supposed to release? The fear, the thing that was holding them back, the whatever part of their world, it successfully, like finally close out the chapter. Then this karmic thing, you guys can come into balance, you guys can have union, or once you release, close this out, it's like eventually this person, because they're so far behind, they will also have to get to the point where the Tower happens or a 10 Swords happens, like I said, the universe will make it very uncomfortable because, the seasons always change. The death always happens. We can't take vitamins forever and think we'll live forever. The death is going to happen. Their rebirth is going to happen. A rebirth is assured. Okay, but when? And what's the timing? You might already close this out. And there you go. And maybe you're supposed to close this whole thing out. And then finally, who knows how long, they catch up and close theirs out. And now you guys might be two different sort of people. And maybe a whole new beginning starts on truth with two different people, who see the world completely different, potentially. And it has nothing to do with what we experienced in the past and the imbalance and our old perspectives. And when we were sort of our lower self, if you want to even call it a low self, but we weren't our higher selves and we were stuck in the shenanigans of who said what and what did what, and you didn't do that, and you couldn't leave your this, and you didn't choose me, you didn't come correctly, and all of that stuff. Okay, because we need to close out the world. And so Spirit's really talking about the divine has the key. We can integrate shadow. We can move with the universe forward. We can understand our lessons about oneness, about karmic justice, about organic release when we need to, not fight the universe. So when it's time to go. We don't get clingy. We don't get fearful of letting go of what we're, the material world and what we're hanging on to because we don't trust the divine. This is all about trusting the divine. And so when we cling, when we hold back, it's like, I know better than the divine. I'm going to hang on to this because it feels comfortable, and I think in your case, it's like you're not trusting really the divine either in some way, because it's like the true surrender comes as a natural process of saying, I could still love and let go. And I think you are moving forward. Like you have no choice. You have to, but there's still a hanging on energetically because it was so impactful, like I said, with those major arcanas and the synchronicities. And so there's nothing to fight. And it's not, I really want to fight to surrender and let go, because now we're resisting the universe. It's like, no, the universe is saying you will eventually get to that. But the more space we make in acceptance and understanding that we still need to process feelings and we still need to slowly go through this thing, heart will slowly open again. Now, do not let a poor experience that was imbalanced, that created suffering for you, make you feel like you cannot have a new beginning or give to a new connection or have a new beginning for you. Because I feel like some of you guys might be very, very hurt, emotionally drained, depleted, like I said, hurt. And it's like, I don't want to even look at another connection potentially here, but what is that? That's a reverse hangman. It's like whatever happened here, and you can't help it if that's how you feel, because I do feel like you might have been very hurt by this situation and it didn't treat you very fairly in some way, Now I say it, not the they, because they treated you exactly as they should have, because there was a divine sort of way that they were supposed to be. But do not let it bitter you. Do not let it make you feel any way that is going to be out of compassion for too long, and give yourself time to mourn. Yeah, 5 cups. And so this is what it's talking about. Give yourself space, acceptance. Do not approach yourself like get over it already, or like that sort of thing, or I need to do this, or I have to do that, or no, you don't have to do anything except for make space for where you're at. Meet yourself where you're at. I feel sad. I feel like I'm still sort of hanging on here energetically, but it's like I want to work with the divine and trust the divine. Okay, that's a start. We want to. Or it's like, I know the divine has something better. Okay, great. Now we're a little further ahead. We know, but it's like, but I still have these deep emotional feelings. It's like, okay, they come every once in a while. What do we do when they're here? Do we follow that thought? Do we keep compounding all those thoughts and go down a rabbit hole and get all upside down? Or do we see it and do we work with it? So we got to meet ourselves where we're at. We have to make space for the grieving. We have to make space for the death process, because you're being reborn either which way, whether this person's coming, going, pooping, sleeping, it don't matter. Okay. You're coming out of this thing, and the divine wants to move you forward for the better. Okay. But we're really sort of in the experiencing of the poop part, and it might be getting better. Like, I feel like this is much better than you were in the moonlight, having this Page of Swords, like yippee. We might not be completely connected to unity, consciousness, and oneness. We might still not know, full shadow integration, or feel like we're at the fully integrated or crystallized in our self-mastery of our emotions, but we know that we are seeing things differently. And finally it's like, wow. And that's what I feel is like you're seeing something and it's like, wow, we even have this little magnifying glass. And I feel like this is sort of liberation for you. Look, the bird's even flying. Even a little bit of liberation is a little bit of liberation, but it's like I'm still emotionally sort of tied here. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. But we're seeing, and you're free from a situation that you were all discombobulated in. And keep trusting the universe. Keep knowing that what goes up must come down. So if you are experiencing suffering or sadness or emotional depletion, it's like it will turn. It has to turn. That's the cycle of life, the death and rebirth. It is for everything. Nothing's absolute. Things keep manifesting in and out of existence. That's the unfolding of this beautiful world. And so this too shall pass. Okay. But I don't think we see it. And I feel like it was a missed opportunity here. And your person will certainly reach a point where it will be a missed opportunity on hindsight, but this doesn't necessarily mean that this person's going to come to this point and be like, all of a sudden choose you. They might see it as, oh yeah, I remember when I'm pile number 3 and I was like this. That was the old immature me. And I kind of just want to point my nose in another direction. And that's part of their experience. And that's it. And you go one way and they go the other. That's definitely a possibility too. We can't get hung up on outcome, and we can't get hung up on because of all of this stuff is like, well, it must have been this person. It's like, yeah, all of this stuff was so that you could see a greater perspective of yourself and get closer to the divine. Because getting closer to the divine is really the purpose here. You seeing this reality from a different perspective and not thinking you're the player in the game, getting lost in the maze of the mind. And that's not your true self. Your true self is much more than just the mind body. Okay, you're not the mind body complex here. You are the divine light. You are oneness. You're connected with everything. And so this was the purpose, to bring you here. Okay, so I don't know. I don't see that you and your person union happily ever after. It's like big fat question mark here. Could it be a beautiful love story? For sure. For sure. Absolutely. But if you get pegged to that, you're going to be disappointed because it's like you feel you have a belief, and people think, well, having beliefs are great. Always have hope and belief. And then it becomes a thing. It's like, no, beliefs are just mind stories upon mind stories upon mind stories. Like beliefs are really stacked up stories. They're still illusions. A belief doesn't exist because you believe it. If I really truly believed I was a unicorn, it doesn't matter how honest and true I believe it. It still doesn't make it true. You're not going to see me as a unicorn all of a sudden because I believe it. So your beliefs don't really necessarily matter at all. Okay. And neither does your faith in something. And I know I'm going to get a whole bunch of comments here, and you can. And the first reaction is trauma, because we're triggered, or triggered because there's trauma around understanding this concept. And that's fine. We don't all have to have the same thing. Okay. But a belief is nothing but an illusion. Okay. It's a construct of the mind and built upon time, conditioned, programmed into us that we hang on to or we identify with. And that creates suffering because we're believing a fantasy illusion. Okay, now I'm not saying that this person isn't it and that it won't happen and blah, blah, blah. It may. Only the divine knows. Okay, but what we do know for certain is we're not minimizing your experience. You've had this sort of thing that's happened. You've had this thing that happened. This is very real. I don't want to water this down. And it's still happening. And this is the beautiful unfolding of the universe. It's unfolding in front of you. Don't get stuck. Don't get fixated. Don't get hung up. Okay, don't cling. Because when you cling, this creates suffering and resistance. And so what you resist persists. Okay, and what you sort of fight, you strengthen. And so there's a need to be sort of in the middle ground, working with the universe, being able to sort of navigate through this thing and close this out beautifully, because you are transforming and you are ascending, if we even want to call it ascending, because like I even say, is that even a thing? You're already this beautiful oneness. There's no place to go. You're already there. Okay. So, wow, this was a very spiritual reading. Beautiful angels. I'm sorry, the emotions might be intense. There's a lot of sadness or intensity here, and I feel it's felt on both sides. And so this is what's beautiful about the divine, is like we can experience this very real thing in our feelings. Okay, but we know that we're not necessarily our feelings. We're being asked to feel our feelings, create space for it, be gentle with self, show grace for self and for other, compassion. Okay, compassion. So, beautiful angels, this is your reading. I hope this helped you. I love you very much. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, gorgeous angels, pile number 3. You guys pick the Kawaii Tarot, and we're looking at the person you came here about in the connection, and where is this headed? Okay, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of beautiful pile number 3, Spirit. We're going to take a look at the current state energetically of your connection so that you know that this is your pile. Okay, so the energy could definitely come reversed, meaning I'm going to call it you and it's your person, vice versa, so you can crisscross it. Okay, I'll let you know however many energies I see, and it's up to you to sort of determine who is what, but don't force anything and don't sort of assume anything. Okay, use your intuition openly as to what it is that I'm channeling here, and either it's going to resonate or not with the intuition. Okay, so clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good for pile number 3. What is going on in the connection? That pile 3 will know that this is indeed their pile. For pile 3 and the person they came here about, the connection they came here about, Spirit, clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile 3 and this connection. Please protect me and the viewer as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good. Thank you so much, pile 3, for allowing me to tap into your energy and the energy around you at this time. I'm so blessed to be here doing your reading. Doesn't feel right. Let's do that again. Okay. Wow. Is someone left-handed? I just heard left-handed. I don't know. Maybe both you and your person are left-handed. Is that a thing? Why is that coming through? Okay, we have Queen of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and then we have the 3 of Swords in reverse. We have the 10 of Cups in reverse. How will pile number 3 know that this is their reading? Their pile, Page of Pentacles. So why is this Queen of Swords here, Spirit? This is 3 Pentacles and the Empress in reverse. Wow, Taurus, Libra energy. Okay, and why is this 10 of Cups here? There's a lot of air energy coming through here. Yeah, 4 swords. So maybe both you and your person are air signs. Why is this Page of Pentacles here? 6 of Cups. Oh my goodness, I was about to say, and I should have before I flipped this. You and your person feel really, really, really like 2 peas in a pod here almost, you know? I don't know. It feels like you and you, you know? That's what it feels like. I don't know. Maybe that's, you see this person as an extension of you in some way. You guys, my goodness, is an extension of you. 2 cups. Under that's 9 wands, right? Canes or wands here? Yeah. Okie dokie. Let me just channel this energy that I'm feeling. Knight of Pentacles under that. Okay. Okay. It's simple. Okay, it's simple. I'm going to keep it fairly simple here, even though it might go very deep. Okay, just me watering this down doesn't take away from anything, okay? Beautiful angel, I'm going to read you as this Queen of Swords. I do kind of feel one energy and how they're sort of engaged with their person in this connection, and I feel this is you. You are a beautiful, intelligent, beautiful Queen of Swords here, okay? And I feel like you're somebody here who sort of knows what you want, and you're able to communicate and understand what you want and what you don't want. And I feel like whatever you're experiencing here is something potentially that doesn't feel good. And it doesn't feel good because you know what feels good and what doesn't. And you don't want to be left without. You want to be treated in a way that is giving and receiving and balanced and work with your person. And I don't think this has been the case. And I think this feels to me almost like you're still really heavily connected to this person, so much so that you're very hopeful that this person comes around or sees the light here. So I don't feel you've given up, but I feel like you feel hurt. I feel like you feel like maybe you've experienced pains in the past for sure, and you don't want to experience another loss. And maybe you've experienced pains with this person specifically where you felt like they weren't stepping up or giving you love or showing you some value here. And it's like, I really want to work with this person and work together. So I am feeling an energy here. Two scenarios in a way here. This heartbreak that is in the reverse could be that you've experienced something in the past with a different person at some other time, space, realm of reality. And you've been very hesitant to show up in this connection. And it's like, but I do know I want to work with this person, but I'm sort of fearful of getting hurt here, you know, and I don't really fully know how to give and receive love, but I know there might be potential here on the table. I'm still contemplating, I'm still reflecting. And do I come forward? Do I communicate this? Because I do feel something for this person, but I'm feeling kind of defensive, a little guarded, and I want to go really, really, really slow. And I want to make sure that they kind of feel the same way I do. I don't want to let go, you know, of like a good thing if they are indeed a good thing. And I do feel like you feel like there could be something here, but you're not quite sure because no one can be sure. So it could be a bag of hurt or it could be a bag of good. And there's like this Russian roulette thing happening here. Like, do I pick this one or that one, this path or that path? Because if I stick to the fear and they're thinking that I'll be rejected, I might miss out. And if I pick the other path, then it's like I might land on this beautiful 10 of cups or it might be 3 swords. And I don't know which it is for sure. So I'm hesitant, but I do want to find out. I want to go slow. I want to have more communication. And I do feel very tied to this person. Now, for some of you guys, the only difference here would be that this heartbreak is very much something that you are anticipating with this person because this person has shown to you already that they're not in a position to give here. And it's like you had a hope of a 10 cups with this person. And now you guys are in some form of no contact or separation, or you're like, is this person even going to be able to show up here? I don't want to reconcile if I'm just going to experience the same pain that I did in the past. And so your person here is coming through as someone that you anticipate coming forward with wanting a reconciliation. And you don't know whether you're going to be defensive or let them in, whether you should go slow, whether you should trust them, whether it's something you can rely on. Do I come forward and reconcile with them because I still am thinking about the situation, or I've healed it enough here now, or there's been enough time where it's like I'm contemplating reaching out to them and seeing, but it's like, man, I don't know, like maybe they don't want this anymore and there's been too much time, but it's like I could still see this being a potential and I should just maybe come forward, you know, and be the bigger person and say I'm sorry, or at least just, do you want to try this again or see where it goes? Because I do see that we were compatible here and I could do this, you know. So one thing that I was getting here, and I won't go too much into it because I normally go all off on this thing, is that I think you're learning a lesson of self-love. Okay. And I don't know that you see your full self-worth and that you fully understand boundaries and how to really give and receive love to self. And I feel like you might be learning this lesson and too early or premature here in a healthy connection until you sort of understand this. And I don't know, maybe this is your person you're working with and maybe you know this, you know. For some of you guys, it is that too. I'm getting so many scenarios here. Like you've already done the work. You're already sort of healed. You already know what you want. Like I said, that was coming through very strong. It's like, I know what I want. I know what good is good and bad is bad. I know what hurtful is hurtful. I know when people are in shadow. I've done all this reflecting. There's at least some of you guys like this. And so just scratch what I was talking about. But for some of you guys, there's this energy of like, even if you did experience a pain in the past, it's like you say, but I did already kind of go through a lesson here. It's like, yeah, but what did you learn? You're just going to repeat another lesson unless you know your self-worth, unless you know how to give and receive healthy love, unconditional love. That's what it's about, to self, so that you can give it to another, so you can work with another. If you don't know this, then I don't think you're going to experience a nice balance, 2 cups, 10 cups, you know, where 2 people can give equally balanced to each other and have the same sort of values and ideas and are emotionally satisfied by one another and have a happily ever after here. There's going to be defensiveness. There's going to be a lack of trust. And just because we feel like emotionally tied, it's like, hey, we reconcile, but then what? Then we are in a world of hurt because we still don't know boundaries. What are we going to build? You know? So this is sort of what I see here. I don't think there's anything else coming through. So now we're going to go look at where's this connection then headed. Okay. Wow. Thank you for that, beautiful angel. I did enjoy your energy very much. So let's take a look at where is this connection headed? Spirits, where's this connection headed? I think for a lot of you guys, you're anticipating a reconciliation with this person, a coming together. You feel a soul tie to this person with the 6 cups, okay? It's like you anticipate this being a thing, whether they've hurt you in the past or you've been hurt in the past by someone else. But let's see, Spirit, clear and concise message. Where is this connection headed for pile 3? This connection I just tapped into. Where is this connection headed? Clear and concise message for beautiful pile number 3. And where is this connection headed? Page of Swords in reverse. The Page of Pentacles. Clarifying that. 2 pages. Some of you guys might have a child with this person. Okay. 2 Wands. Decision. 5 Wands. Yeah, we're conflicted here. More decision. 2 Pentacles. 4 Pentacles. 10 Cups. Is this 10? What is this? What are these? 10 Wands. Wow. Lollipops. Okay, 10 Wands. What do we want? Do we want a wand here? I don't want. Not there. Okay, Ace of Wands. Why is these 2 wands here? Sorry, guys. Just making sure that the energy is sitting right here. 2 wands clarified by the King of Wands in reverse. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Why is this 5 wands here with the 2 pentacles in reverse? Why is this here, Spirit? Where is this connection headed? Look at this. Okay. Queen of Pentacles. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. I'm going to leave this in the sideways position. Knight of Pentacles. 4 Pentacles clarified by the 3 of Wands in reverse. And Temperance. Oh, I was going to say Justice. And you guys might have some Libra, Sagittarius. Okay, so, sorry, I don't know if I mentioned the signs. We have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and yeah, Sagittarius. I'm getting Libra with the scales, and Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Oh, and under there is the Queen of Swords. Did we not see this Queen of Swords open up the reading? How come it looks different to me completely? Weird. Anyway, we have 2 queens here. So Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Okay. Just give me a second here. Okay, I know what this is. This is you. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Beautiful angel. I feel like a lot of you guys are going to resonate with the story at the beginning there where I was saying you were like not sure whether you should reconcile with this person if they come forward in some way, or do you give them a chance, or like, is it going to work? Okay. I feel like your person is coming through as this King of Wands in reverse, or at least this might be how you're sort of seeing the situation you experience with this person. You're not sure if you should just pull away, be independent, build your own sort of a world, stay single, or at least just focus in a different direction here. And you're not clear about this person's intentions. And you're like, do we have a new beginning? Is there something solid that could plan here? You still feel attracted to this person. And I feel this person's attracted to you. Okay. But I do feel like your person is the one sort of sitting on a decision here that they haven't made because they're conflicted. And I don't think that they're prioritized you. Okay. And you might want to twist it in a way Okay, I'm going to say this as gentle as I can. You might want to twist it in a way, because I know you feel like the 6 cups with this person, and you want to see if this could sort of be nurtured in some way, but you can't do or say anything at all to make this person prioritize you or choose you or see the light no matter what here. So, one, advice is coming through already. Let this person sort of figure it out, and you might say, well, if they need to figure it out and they don't choose me, then they can't have me. Okay, well, then move on. Why are you here? All right, you made your decision. And then I guess you're very clear. There you are, Queen of Pentacles. Go on, go on. But it's more complicated than this. Yes, I know, because you have feelings here and you want to see, is this person going to choose me? What are they deciding? And to be honest, they're not choosing you. They're not. They're conflicted. That's where they're at. Accept where they're at while they decide. Okay, and then they have a good reason maybe why they're deciding, or maybe it's a poor reason. But we can't be the judge and executioner as to whether it's a good reason or a bad reason, because then you're using your own logic to justify and weigh out the options, whether it's valid or invalid, why they're choosing what they're choosing. Whatever they're choosing to do, sit under a tree for 3 months in a row. It doesn't matter. That's their choice. This King of Wands is choosing something else right now, and it could be based out of lies to self. It could be fears. It could be that you feel that they do want to be with you in some capacity. But the point being, they're not choosing you and they're not prioritizing you, and they're conflicted here, sitting, humming and hawing and humming and hawing, whether they want to move forward with you. And they might be sort of stopping and then going super slow, dangling some carrots, giving you some false hope here. Okay. And this doesn't feel good, because I feel like this person is still hanging on to you. So what's it saying? It's saying, where's this headed? This person's hanging on to you, but they're not giving you any promise of where it's going. They're not giving you any idea of future, and you're just going to become very burdened with this sort of dragging of the feet. And the more you cling and hang on to this person, the more overwhelmed you're going to be, till the point where you just can't no more at some point in time. Whether this is like right now where you're like, okay, I can't wait any longer already. I've carried it too long. Okay, but I feel like this is in future position, because I feel like some of you guys are still sort of giving this person some chance here, or like a little wiggle room to say, well, maybe they might see the light, because I can kind of feel it. It's like, yeah, well, maybe, but you hang on here, and eventually you're going to surrender first, or let go first, or snap first, okay? Before, like, you're going to cling and hang on, and then you're going to surrender first before I think this person sees some change, before they actually do anything here. Because I do feel like you're going to give up or say, that's it. Like, I'm no longer seeing where this is going. And I need to heal, and I need to find balance, and I need to work on myself, or I finally see my own value. And I know that releasing this connection or dealing with this and putting this down is the best way for me to find healing and balance for myself. That is a clear, logical decision made from an experience where I was hurt, or where I was breadcrumbed, or where I wasn't prioritized, or where I wasn't valued. And when we get here, we finally are that Empress in the upright, because guess what? Now we see and understand. Now, what Spirit is saying, though, is if we didn't learn the Empress in the upright, we repeat something again. What do we repeat? We become this Queen of Swords. We're angry. We start to make reasons and stories why people need to do this, and they did that, and this person was not choosing me, and it was them. Okay, projecting. And so Spirit's really talking about here. Advice for you would be understanding what has happened here from a place of objective truth. Yes, it might have been hurtful. Yes, this person might have not chose, but it wasn't because it was wrong or right. And it doesn't matter how much you were wanting them to do it, or giving to this person, or what your values are. Those are all beliefs. The timing for this person wasn't aligned with your timing, and it didn't work very well, and it was hurtful. And it was only hurtful because we were resisting or hanging on. When we resist what's true, when we fight what's real, because we want it to be something else, okay, could play that in slow. We are fighting reality, and then we suffer. So you might be resisting letting go, or the natural flow here, which is this person was not in a position here because of XYZ, whatever it was, to move forward and to take this to the next level. And you wanted next level. You wanted next level. You wanted balance and healing here, and they couldn't provide it. That's a truth. And I think it's a truth that you're going to have to accept. Okay, now you could do whatever you want, but if you don't want to suffer, then we got to sort of get into reality, or we could believe our thoughts and our stories and our values and our ideas and all of that stuff and be in a whirlwind of that and stay in the matrix and then go to another connection or wait around saying, I'm an independent person here building my thing. And then someone else comes around with this exact same sort of energy. And we keep going through the same thing over and over and over again. And then we get attached because we're not made to be alone until we see that everyone who comes near us, through us, towards us is a reflection of what's going on in our inner world. So when you are Empress in the upright, you understand that you brought this person into your world to show you your value, to tell you you don't need to hang on to breadcrumbs, to tell you put down this burden, love yourself, be there for yourself. And now you'll recognize this in another and you'll be balanced and healed. And now when someone comes towards you, it's like they're coming towards you with the same thing. They want what you want. Okay, but I don't feel like you understand or see this in this person at this time because it's not there. And it doesn't matter, again, how much you want to see it, it doesn't exist here. Okay. And so, yes, you're right, because I feel like in your intuition, you already know. Okay. You already know this. And so that doesn't mean forever. And you put them down, you surrender, you move on. Maybe this person can change. And I just heard someone say, well, no, if I move on, then that's it. I've moved on. It's like, okay, well, sure, you've moved on from this version of this person with that version of you, but you're reborn now. You're reborn now. You're always reborn. You're not the same person you were 2 seconds ago. No. Okay, you're reborn now, every moment. Same with this person. You're not who you were. So when you come together, if you come together, it's a complete different version of this person. Because we're not our thoughts, we're not our past. Yes, we've had experiences in this meat suit, but that isn't who you are. Okay, so this person is not in a position here, and I don't know how long they're going to stay here. Now, just for you, although I think this is your lesson, is put it down, don't cling, don't resist. It's not going to progress here in the way you want it. Doesn't mean it won't forever. I do want to see and dig into this because they have a lot of sort of passion here for you, but what? They're firing up in their pants for you, but it's like, so what? So what? Like, that's not what you want. No, you wanted like a level up here with this 3 of Wands. You wanted to progress. You wanted, to have something solid here. And this person is humming and hawing and needing to choose. So let's just see. What do you need to know about the King of Wands? What does the Queen of Wands, I'm going to call you, you're a Queen of Swords. What does this beautiful Queen of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, what is it that you don't have to be those signs, by the way, but I think it's mostly about understanding and learning lessons and not becoming bitter and angry. That's what it's about, okay? Understanding lessons and compassion. And again, now I know why I wrote what I wrote here. And it is fading here. And I don't like that it's fading. Give me a second. All right. Yeah, what I wrote here, I had to rewrite it here because your Queen of Swords energy is really about understanding and experience here without getting angry, showing love and compassion here and not letting it sort of turn you into a bitter person. Okay, you might say, I'm not bitter and whatever. It's like, yeah, but then we become heartless or we become matter of fact and void of emotion. And no, okay, we don't got to get like that. Okay, but we have to sort of see reality in some way. So let's take a look. What I want to see this King of Wands here. Why is he in 2 worlds? Why is he not prioritizing you and just showing you sort of, I don't know, maybe comes around sexually here for some of you guys, and that's about it. Or you feel that there's passion, or I say he, doesn't have to be a he, by the way, okay? Let's see, what's going on with this King of Wands? Why is he with 1 toe in and 1 toe out? Shake it all about. 5 of Pentacles and 5 of Swords. Oh my goodness, he's in a world of hurt. 5-5. You guys might be seeing, and there's another 5. 5-5-5. 55 is a master number, okay? Change is the only constant, divinely orchestrated change. So obviously 5s are all about change. 5 is about innovation, okay? It's about risk. It's also about freedom. And it's also about conflict and challenge. This person might really like their freedom and their independence here. And I feel like they might be very conflicted based on a scarcity mindset, if I got to be honest. There's still scarcity. There's like a belief in lack. So it's like, if I give to you, then I have to take from what I have. And now there's a lack here in some way. And this is creating this the 5 swords with you because they were like, what do you mean? If you care about me or love me, it's like you don't want to give from your pile here. And it's like, No, they don't. But let's see. 5-5. Like, why are they in this world of hurt here? Page of Wands in reverse. Do you guys have a child together? This might be a different connection than you are expecting to see for some of you guys. It could be the parent of your child here. Page of Wands in reverse. This person's just in another place in this time. They don't want to fully pursue this connection. But like, I do feel this Ace of Wands belongs to them. So it's like there is a passion, but it's like, but with the King of Wands in reverse and this Page of Wands in reverse and this Five Pentacles, like, are they lacking confidence? Like, I don't know. Are they lacking confidence here? What's going on with this King of Wands? 4 Cups. They're fearing rejection. They're in this lack mindset. They definitely have rejected you. Like, you might say, well, I don't reject them, but the fear of rejection is integrated into their decision making. So even if you're like giving them love, it's like the fear of rejection because they're rejecting themselves. Remember I was talking about the mirror? Wow, these readings are really coming through with a whole lot. Look at that, 7 swords in reverse. My goodness, Spirit's coming through with lots of stuff here for you, okay? Remember I was telling you about the mirror. And I was kind of giving you the, oh, you're going to keep bringing in these people, blah, 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 blah. So don't blame him, the King of Wands. This is the same thing I'm going to tell this King of Wands person. They have a mirror when they look at you. You could be 10 empresses, 50 empresses, giving all of this person whatever want. And they'd still be in this lack mindset, 4 Cups, and still fear rejection because they're rejecting themselves. This type of energy is like running away from something and has a lack mindset. So they don't explore what they actually want. They'd rather avoid it. They'd rather make reasons not. They'd rather create all sorts of conflict. And there's some form of self-fulfilling prophecy. See, nobody likes me. I'm always alone or rejected in some way, even though I'm getting cocky, because I don't think this is the energy of your person. I think this person shows up as like, I am this and I am that and I get what I want and independence, independent freedom. I don't commit, but it's like really this 4 Cups. It's really covering up this lack of confidence. Because when we got to overly be confident and show how big our rooster is, then we probably have a little rooster. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's this lie to self. And I think you feel this, that there's something going on here. They're not being completely honest about. It's like, what are they lying to me about? It's like what they're lying to you about is their relationship with themselves is the thing that's getting in the way of them giving to you, that's keeping them conflicted, that's keeping them sort of at this crossroads, not choosing you, and maybe wanting, because I do feel the 7 swords energy with all of these 5s, are sort of in a desperate state of do whatever I can to sort of keep up my world. And if this means that I do whatever to hurt you, okay, this doesn't mean because they want you to suffer and be in pain, but this is like survival mode. This is like, I'm going to do whatever it takes here to pile number 3 so that I can keep my illusion safe or keep myself guarded or keep my what I do have, because I have nothing, you know, like inside my subconscious. Again, this person's not going to say I have nothing, I am nothing, but they feel this way inside. And so I'm going to do whatever it takes here to make myself feel good. If this means bringing other people in, if this means I gotta fight you tooth and nail, if this means I gotta always make arguments with you every time I see you because poor attention is better than no attention. And if I give you love, it's like I risk this, but it's like I'd rather you just argue with me all day long. Then at least you're here, arguing with me, chasing me, wanting me. But I'm like, nope, not going to do it, not going to do it. And I keep you stuck and I'm in limbo here and I want you part of my misery because I never give to you. And then you're like, well, are you going to decide? Are you going to decide? And they're like, let's just argue some more. Let me just sort of lie some more. Okay, maybe I'll give you a little bit of a breadcrumb and say I'm sorry. But then when you scratch the surface and you're like, what are you sorry about? They're like, well, I'm just sorry that I said, you know, those bad words. It's like, no, but there's more beneath there that you're not being honest about. That's what you need to be sorry about. That's what needs to come to the surface. That's what needs to be revealed. That's not coming through until this person does shadow work, understands themselves, and you're already one step ahead because you're going to understand and heal yourself by the time this Joker gets around to it. Okay? So, pile number 3, this is your reading. I love you very much. I'm sorry. It's not easy, you know, but that's their energy. Like, this is the why. Like, what happens then when you do this? Like, let's say right now, because maybe you're motivated. You're like, okay, I want to surrender then, you know? I mean, just because you want to surrender doesn't mean you suddenly surrender. But let's say you're finally saying, okay, then I won't message them, or I won't take them back, or whatever. And I'm not telling you to do that. If you want to take them back, I think you should, because we learn lessons. That's how the Queen of Swords is going to understand her lesson. You have to go through what you need to go through, whether it's with them, without them, suffering, non-suffering, heartbreak, not heartbreak. Don't say, well, I don't want to be fooled. I don't want to be the trick. You know, I don't want to give in to a King of Wands in reverse and do this and that. It's like, you know, you're resisting. When you have resistance, you're fighting something off, and you're going to be in a world of suffering. You don't need to resist, but that doesn't mean you need to give in either. You got to find a middle ground, and we got to work with your energy, okay? Because we can't just be like, I'm going to, you know, only talk to him when he comes correctly and unblock him. When you have someone blocked, you're tethering yourself to that energy. When you're mad at someone, you're tethering yourself to that energy. Energy is energy. In fact, negative energy is a very intense energy. It is just equally as strong as the holding some, you know, neutral perspective of someone. It's going to hold a lot of energy between you and that person. So let's see here. If this Queen of Swords, okay, 5 of Cups, 4 of Pentacles. Spirit is talking about, if you hang on, this is what I was talking about, and maybe it didn't come through what I wanted to say. When you resist anything at all, you're pushing up against it, and it creates force, okay, energy. So think of a tree, and you cut the tree, and now the tree is about to fall. If I stand here, well, not me strong enough, but let's say I'm strong enough to hold this tree, and it's about to tip, but I'm standing here holding it, it doesn't fall. And I'm keeping this energetic tree up. But the minute I walk away and release, this tree falls. There's no energy here, you know, this thing. It needs resistance in order for it to stay up. Okay, and so we might go back and forth, and that's the tree's pressing on me, and I'm pressing on the tree, and now we keep it alive. We keep this thing alive. This is 4 Pentacles. The minute I let the tree fall, let go, I walk. Now there's no tethering between me and this tree or this person. Okay, that's when we are sort of holding the situation with some resistance. And this is also when I talk about what we fight up against. So it's like this person is like coming at you, blah, 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 blah. It's like if I go blah, 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 blah back to them and argue, just like, you know, when you're online arguing with someone, it's like it keeps that energy dialogue back and forth. But if they're like arguing with you, it's just them projecting, and you're like, nothing. Like it just bounces right off you. Then there's nothing to keep alive. Then we're not 4 Pentacles. And so I feel like if you're blocking this person, getting into arguments with this person, resisting them in any energetic way, then you're going to be 5 Cups. Spirit's saying none of that. You don't want to be 5 Cups. This doesn't feel good. Okay, so what is your advice here? Well, definitely let go of the resistance or that energy, but how do you handle this person then? Love and compassion, of course. Love and compassion and understanding. It doesn't mean you accept them, forgive them in a way here that allows them to keep doing what they do, but forgive them for yourself with compassion and love. 8 of Wands in reverse. So don't move in a direction here hastily. Make decisions here based on, yeah, this is like quick. It's even communication. So it's like when we say certain things and take certain action, it's based on our subconscious. We got to think before we act. We got to think before we say things here. Is it coming from a place of a 4 Pentacle? If it is, then we don't need to move in that direction. We could be very conscious and aware. It's like, wait. Was I about to say this? Was I about to do this? Is this in line with my value? 2 of Cups in reverse. Is this in line with my value? Is this person in line with my value? Right here, right now, is this person balanced with me? If not, why am I giving to this? Why am I energetically feeding this? Why am I, moving in this direction? Be very aware of it. This isn't resisting with the tree. Okay, what this means is like the walking away part. This is like this tree comes in with communication. Your person, okay, I'm calling it the tree. And then you're just like, nope, like not having it. And then this isn't like butting up against or blocking it. This is just, no, I'm not having it. Like I'm not energetically feeding this because it's imbalanced. And I feel as though this is easier said than done, because energetically we could still be dancing the dance here. And I don't think your person is in a position, like I said, to bring you equal value. And I think you know this, and it hurts, because I feel you want to feel emotionally loved, and they're not in the position. They're in a world of craziness. Yeah, look at this. Death. Accept the ending. Let them go. And this is sudden. Okay, this is, like I was saying, boop, like a sudden. I feel like there's a sudden cutoff, a sudden release, a sudden need to let this sort of go and let it transform into what it will. Because like I said, now, there's a new version of them. This is all about transformation. And you could say you don't want them, and that's up to you. If you don't want them, in the now, I mean, look at you. Look at you 6 months ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, yesterday. We're always changing, okay? Some of us every second, and the now. Okay, so this is talking about the transformation. This will transform this connection. One day, maybe there might be a coming together if this person understands their lessons in divine timing. Okay, but you're being called to naturally surrender, let this go. It's not balanced for you. Okay, it's just bringing you some hurts here. So we have Scorpio energy here. Beautiful angel, this is your reading. Now I'm done. I hope this helped you. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, beautiful angel. Monet Tarot, pile number 4. When I was showing these cards, I kept hearing money, 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 money. So I don't know. Is this somebody who's a little materialistic? Maybe trying to, I don't know, like they might have resources in place here. This reading sometimes comes through my channel, or someone is sort of in a situation that's materialistically doing it for them, but everything else is sort of in the shitter. Let's see. Spirit, clear and concise message here for beautiful pile number 4. We're looking at, where is this connection headed? And we're going to do a quick sort of energy check. I don't know how quick. It depends on what I channel here, but we're going to do an energy check to see what is the pulse of this connection, so that pile number 4 knows that this is indeed their pile. Pile number 4, the connection they came here about, the person they came here about. How will they know that this is their pile? What's going on in this connection? Now, keep in mind, energy can be reversed. If I say to you and it's your person, crisscross it. This might be coming from their perspective, so don't come with any sort of preconceived notions, okay, because it could still be your pile, but coming through sort of as the reverse perspective. I can't control that, and Spirit does that for whatever reason, okay? Whatever makes the most sense here. So let's take a look at pile number 4 and what's going on in this connection. That pile 4 will know that this is indeed their pile. King of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Beautiful. It's wearing a blue robe. Something about communication. Okay. Page of Pentacles, communication. Okay. Two of Pentacles. Something with a decision. Pentacles, Pentacles. Money, 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 money. King of Wands, maybe focused on his business. We'll see. Does he have confidence? Is he in a position of confidence? I say he. This definitely could be you. We'll see what's going on here. For pile number 4 in this connection, spirits. So we have 5 of Wands in reverse, 6 of Swords in reverse, and the Ace of Wands. Why is this King of Wands here? We have the Emperor in reverse. Yoicks. My goodness. Aries energy. Okay, why is this Page of Pentacles here? Do I take these? I think so. 8 of Pentacles in reverse and the Ace of Cups in reverse. Money, money, money. All right, why is this 5 of Wands in reverse? King of Pentacles. Money, money, money. 3 of Swords in reverse. Chariot. Cancer energy. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. The Devil, Capricorn. Oh my goodness. What the friggy froggy. Okay, let me see. What's going on here? Major, major, major. And then we have 2 kings. Okay, let me see. Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. This person, I feel, is in really strong ego still. I feel they're not seeing something here. This could be your person, okay? Take it how it resonates. I think this person thinks they're bigger than they are, okay? Because it's like a my way or a highway, and they might really feel like they're in control or in charge of decisions in their world. And that's fine if we are under that illusion, but it's just nothing but an illusion. Yes, we can make choices based on what's unfolding here, but I do feel like this person is like my way or the highway, and what I say sort of goes in some way here. And this is coming from a very shadowy place that needs to be looked at and healed. Okay, now if this isn't, before you click away, the energy of your person, this sometimes can come through as well, either which way, if we're in that energy, it's still a lack of confidence, but it might show up differently. My way, highway, blah, 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 blah. It's because of lack of confidence, or a lack of confidence in how they approach, period. And you'd see it because there's like a challenge in communication and how to step up, and make a decision. So it could be through both of these sort of venues, but either which way, this person has some complex here in regards to their ego and a need to make a decision. And this decision would certainly involve communicating to you, offering you some sort of pentacle here, which would require them to do some sort of trade-off or some decision. To them, it's a trade-off. Okay, and this person could just be like, I'm not in a position to do this, or have been going back and forth with this for some time. And it could be the type of energy that's just really lacking confidence, saying, well, I'm not even going to bother because it's might not even work. Okay, that's type of an energy with the 8 Pentacles in reverse. Or it could literally be somebody who's like so much an ego here, where it's like they're not putting any effort, and there it's like, I don't want to have to invest in this thing and give to it and grow it and do all of this stuff here. And if I start over with pile number 4 and like offer them a cup, or like come start over, I feel like it's a start over or start again, or a start dating, pile number 4, or start, whatever start means to you, because this is a new beginning. If I show my emotion, then I have to do something here that I'm not sure I'm capable of doing or want to do. I don't know if it's a want or a can't, but it's definitely stemmed from some sort of ego. Maybe they feel they're incapable, not confident enough, or just too lazy, too stubborn, think they're like mightier. There's a mixture here, and you'll have to know who your person is here. But I do feel there's something about communication and emotions here. And so I feel like your person is moving with the devil. And they might have fed into the story of the devil. They bought the fear, they bought their subconscious, they bought the whispering in their ear that they're either not good enough, or my way or highway, or whatever. There's some sort of toxic energy here, okay? I'm just calling it toxic if it's just their unhealthy ways of engagement and connection is driving them. But where's it driving them towards? There's a need for them to integrate this shadow, but there's no need, because we can live how we live. There's no good or bad. If they want to go experience whatever they're experiencing here, they can move in that direction. And what they're doing here, I feel like with this 8 of Pentacles in reverse and this 7 of Pentacles in reverse, there's like a not investing and not investing, not putting the energy, not putting the effort. So it could be like a giving up energy even here. Yeah, even this is surrender. So some of you guys might have surrendered or just like no longer giving to the situation. It's like, I don't want to argue with this person no more. They're too arrogant, or they don't see my thing here anymore. And it's like, I want to have a new beginning because I was really stuck in an experience with a person that wanted to hold me back or wasn't going anywhere. And all it was a 5 wands or a 5 swords. And like, it wasn't moving anywhere. And so I feel a lot of you guys are seeing the light or aligning yourself with a new beginning and clarity about this. And one thing you had to do was sort of pull the plug here, or pull the root out of this thing. It's like, no more. And I think you might have been invested in quite some time. And I always get with 7 of Pentacles, this is a very, very long time that we've been invested. And it's like, this person isn't breaking free of their devilly ways. And no matter how much pull maybe was involved with this person, because maybe you're really, really pulled, you know, like intensity here, lots of passion, lots of like intensity. It's like, regardless of this intensity that this person would pull to me, it's like, I only know that my clarity is in a new beginning for myself, in no longer engaging with this person, because I feel like you wanted this person to potentially show up as a King of Pentacles. Okay, which is a lot different than a reverse Emperor here, wrapped up in a King of Wands type energy. A very similar sort of energy, very self-focused, very me, and that's type of an energy here, which is what you might have experienced. Okay, even if this person might have been lacking some sort of confidence here. Okay, or just really shut off emotionally. And it's like, well, then that must be somebody very choosing themselves so much because they're choosing the fear, rather than choosing me to come forward and at least attempt this sort of communication in some capacity here. And something's not right here. It's toxic. They can't be bunged up here or stopped or stuck. It's like, what's happening here? Nothing. So you're like, well, if nothing's happening here except for stuckness and resistance and conflict and nothing solid, then I skedaddly do away. And so I feel like this person now is coming through, okay, as understanding that it's like knowing what they have to offer here to you would have to grow from a page to a king. That's how we grow stability. They'd have to become out of the page energy of a novice, learning, investing, day in, day out. I'm hearing chop wood, carry water. That's what the 7 Pentacles and this 8 Pentacles invest, nurture, maintenance, water. And it's like, I'd have to go from this page to this king. Oh my goodness, this take forever. This take a long time. Now, I'm not saying that they're saying this so much, but this is what it's showing me energetically. It would take that. It would. And what are they doing? They're looking at this thing, understanding this thing, and then saying, if I don't do this thing, it's going to be heartbreak for me. It's going to be heartbreak for me if I don't understand where pile number 4 needs me to be, because pile number 4 needs me to be a King of Pentacles. And right now I'm sitting all bunged up, making reasons or excuses why I can't, won't, shouldn't, couldn't, wouldn't, and maybe not even communicating at all in a whole other planet that's not providing anything to beautiful pile number 4. So pile number 4 is moving on from this devilly doodah and most likely called it quits. Page of Cups in reverse. This person, for some of you guys, is a very difficult time expressing their emotions. And it could be so much so that their ego is in the way. That's like, I want to be right. I'm not going to apologize, or I'm not going to now say something here. So it's like they're sitting there. You know what I'm getting again? That I always bring up, even though I'm not seeing the card, the 4 Cups card, the kid at the McDonald's play place that's like sitting angry that he didn't get his McDonald's toy in the color that he wanted, and it's his birthday party and all the kids are like playing and he's like there looking at his toy. That's what I'm getting here. Same energy. So he's looking at his toy, wanting it to be a different color. What that means is, I want you, pile number 4, to come into my world of dysfunction with the devil. Okay, and do whatever it was that you might have done at one point in time, where I juggled you, or I didn't give to you, or I didn't communicate to you, or I ruled over you, or I bossed you around, or I controlled the scenario, or I controlled it so much so because I felt safe and protected, even though maybe I wasn't trying to manipulate you, even though maybe I did have a lot of feelings here for you in some way, but it's like I'm a novice, I'm a little immature, I'm a little inexperienced, knowing full well that I need to be this, and I am telling myself that I can't, I won't, or I'd rather just, I don't know, be the ruler of my own sort of thing over here. So I'm looking at this pending Three of Swords. I'm looking at the color of the toy that I didn't want. And I don't know how long I'm going to sit here before the pain starts getting really bad. Because who knows? Maybe my mom might go and talk to the owner or whatever, the manager, and get me the right car. So I sit here and sulk and look at it and hope and cross my fingers and my toes that it will change colors the longer I sit here or stare at it. So pile 4, are you going to come back, or are you going to deal with this? That's what I'm seeing here. Okay, so now that we see this dynamic, if you resonate with that, let's see where this is going to go. Where is this connection headed? I need some water. Okay. Where is this connection headed? This connection I just tapped into, Spirit. Where is this connection headed? Clear and concise message for the greatest and highest good of pile number 4. Please protect me and the viewer and this connection as I channel this message for the greatest and highest good. Now, please, please, please keep in mind, this is not set in stone. No tarot reader can predict energy for sure. They can only sort of tell you more or less as the energy sits, where it's headed as a trajectory, but not set in stone. There's no way. Okay, because I could do this reading again 2 seconds from now and it'd be completely different, because we have free will and conscious choice, meaning we wake up to decisions, we make different decisions that tap out of the frequency. But in this timeline, with this energy, if they're asleep at the wheel, still acting from subconscious, still in the same energies, then what's going to be the most likely result here? Where is this headed? Spirits. Where is this connection headed? That doesn't feel right. These cards aren't feeling right now. Do that again. Okay. Where is this connection headed? This connection I just tapped into for pile 4. Pile 4's connection. What they came here about. 6 of Cups. That's the card of reconciliation, soul recognition. Okay. Person, place, thing of the past. 5 of Wands. 5 of Wands is the card of conflict, inner conflict. Oh my goodness, what's going on? What's going on? I feel all of these. So we have Judgment. These two are together. We have Magician and we have Queen of Wands. I'll read the signs shortly. Is this an independent story, Spirit? This is an independent story. Okay. And we have the Page of Wands with the flowers. I'm seeing the Lenormand card with the bouquet, which is appreciation. It's also kind of like the 6 Cups type of energy. Okay, and then we have these two together. So we have the Emperor in reverse in the same spot, except it's looking really different to me. Is there 2 Emperors in this deck? Maybe I wasn't focused on what he looked like. Look at him. He's all bejeweled. Wowzers. Look at that beard. Oh, hello. All right. Ace of Pentacles. Alrighty. So, 5 Wands. Clarifying 5 Wands here. Where's this connection headed? Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And then why is Judgment here? Why is the Judgment here? Where is this connection headed? High Priestess in reverse, Pisces energy. Oh yeah, I'll read the signs in a bit. Why is the Magician here? Clarified by this Queen of Wands. 2 Wands. And it says 22. 22 is a master number, which is peacemaker, diplomacy, healthy energetic boundaries, and divinely guided relationships. Interesting. Soul connections, divinely guided relationships. Peacemaker would be this reconciliation. Okay, and then the Page of Wands is clarified by the 3 Wands in reverse. And we have the Moon, intuition. And we have the Lovers under that in reverse. My goodness. What's under that? The 8 Wands. What's under that? The 4 of Wands. Oh my goodness, 4 of Wands is my 1111 card. Let's leave that like that for now. And we'll see these in a bit, okay, after we do the channel. But let's get the signs before I forget. We have Aries, and we have Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, Pisces, more Virgo, Gemini, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and Cancer, Gemini, Pisces. Okay. This is fascinating to me, the way Spirit does these, because there's still so many question marks, and it's almost like the divine really only ever relays such a messaging that still is kind of mysterious and open-ended. And it's not that I'm trying to be all mysterious and open-ended. I'll read to you exactly what this is here. Okay, but there is always this universe can go either which way. And kind of when we get over here, which is in my future, like the furthest out I can see here, it does really depend on sort of free will in some capacity here, because we have the big old moon here still. So things are still kind of being ironed out. Okay, the moon is all about confusion, uncertainty, maybe listening to your fears, being driven from subconscious and all this type of stuff. That's at the bottom of the deck, which has the most weight when it comes to this spread energetically. Okay, at the bottom of the deck, the moon. So we already know that your person has a lot of subconscious stuff pulled from this Emperor in reverse. And I like how this started, because this is sort of continuing from where we left off. Your person, which I read as the Emperor in reverse, really, even though they might be acting however, one way or the other, doesn't matter, either the confident version covering up the Emperor reverse or the lack of confidence version that's all bunged up and limited. But either way, it's an Emperor in reverse. Okay, this is subconscious. This is in reverse because your person is letting their subconscious fears and whatever it is that they were conditioned, programmed, or carrying around within them get in the way of them giving you a solid offer and having a new beginning in the 3D world. That's worth having. Okay, a new beginning, Pentacles. Okay, they'd have to make it official, solid, and plant this seed. This is the only way it would grow. We already saw the Page to the King of Pentacles. Now we know why we're seeing money, 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 because it has to be pentacled. It can't be 5D. It can't be a fart in the wind. It can't be through smoke signals. It can't be through sock puppets. It has to be through pentacles. That's how we make things manifest and happen. If we don't, then we're just sort of whatever, right? Okay, so there's a lot of love here. Your person wants to come forward. They do want to reconcile with you, because whatever they had with you, again, the kid at the play place, was come into my world. I feel so connected to you. I might be completely clued out as to why, but the feelings are felt. The 5D is felt, whether I understand it or not. Electricity works, whether I understand it or not. Things happen. The world is going on, whether I believe it or not. Things happen, whether I know it or not. So there's love, there's feelings, there's an inner world happening, but I don't connect to it in the 3D so much. So I don't know why I'm feeling these intense feelings, but I know that I need to come forward and do a reconciliation here, but I'm so conflicted. Why am I so conflicted? Well, part of me is still an Emperor in reverse because I didn't do any shadow work and I'm in a fear and subconscious. The other part of me knows that my Queen of Pentacles is now potentially walked away, moved away, or not wanting to give to me. This is what's triggering me to do all this stuff that I would rather not do anyway. So she's either going to be mad, angry, or not giving, or I don't know. I don't know and I don't see. And I kind of have to be brought to the stage where I have to find out, like a big person would, like an adult. It's like, you want to see, then you got to fuck around and find out here. Okay, but this type of an energy is like, I don't know what I'm going to see there. I don't know what I'm going to see there. And if this person, your person, could stay in illusion and fantasy where they're comfortable, this person would. Okay, but it's like, but if you're not there in my fantasy world, I got to come out of my slumber here and find out. Okay, and so the fears now is driven by, I don't know what's on the other side of this curtain. And I still don't know fully if I have the capacity to manifest anything, because I still believe the Emperor in reverse is me. And so I'm very challenged here. And I know that I want to come forward. I'm going to have to make the decision to communicate with you, the person who I want to come back into my world. And so I'm going to communicate with you, and I'm going to tell you that I appreciate you, and I'm going to say the words here in a page way. But I have no idea how the hell I can move forward, because I'm still believing I'm an Emperor in reverse. So if you want to level up, if you want to take it to the next stage, if you ask me about how this will move forward, I'm going to look at you like I have no idea what you're talking about, because I really don't know. So what I do know with the judgment, because something is clear, what's clear is that I got to go come to you to get you back. That's clear to me. I see that. I see you leaving. I see me staring at the car that's the wrong color. And the longer I sit there, no one's going to fix it. So I got to go to the manager now, but I don't know. Is the manager going to give me another car? So what I see here is just limited. Okay. But it's like I still carry these beliefs that I'm not confident, or that I want to be right, or that I'm stubborn, or that I still have the blocks. And so Spirit's now coming through with your energy with this 22, which I was talking about, healthy energetic boundaries, because I do feel like you have a very good reason why you're in a reverse Queen of Pentacles here too. You're like, I wanted the Pentacle, and I wanted you to choose. I don't want to be set in your world of dysfunction. You too feel the Six of Cups. I think you too want a reconciliation, but you want a Three of Wands in the upright. You want a Four of Wands, because the Three of Wands leads to the Four. And you wanted the King of Pentacles. Commitment, commitment. And in order to get to the commitments, you need the bridge, which is the Three of Wands. That isn't forthcoming. If the Three of Wands isn't there, how are you going to get to the Four of Wands? If the Pentacle isn't offered, if your person doesn't step up and offer the Pentacle in the new beginning, how can it be a King of Pentacles? It can't get there. And so there will be communication. Your person's going to want to talk, and maybe you're going to communicate again. Maybe you're going to provide, no, this is what I need or want. And then there's a block here to the Lover's Path, meaning this Lover's Path is always available until we choose love. This is a choice card. Okay. The choice is ours. Do we choose fear? Do we choose the subconscious? Do we choose to believe our thoughts, our judgments, and our stories of who we are? Right now, your person is believing that they are who they think they are, and they're none of that. And I did this for pile 3. It's like they are who they are now, who they are now, who they are now, which is always a different person. Well, now is a different person than I was the now previous to that. Okay, once we understand that, we're not our thoughts, we're not our projections and our experiences. We've had experiences, but we are the energy of consciousness here. Okay, and this is the thing that's consistent behind all of these manifestations in this 3D world. All of our conditioning and programs and thoughts and judgments and opinions and reasons why we can and cannot, and all of this mind chatter. But your person thinks that they are that. And so this is getting in the way of your person choosing the destined. And I say destined because the Lovers always, to me, talks about the destined path, the Dharma path, choosing the love path. That has to be a further communication. So could it happen? Just because it's blocked here doesn't mean that it's not there. It's definitely there. But we have to find our way through there. Your person has to find their way through the moonlight. And look at that. The sun comes after the moon. And in the sunlight, we could see clearly. And the sun represents enlightenment. Okay, and I was seeing with your energy and the energy check, we saw the Ace of Wands. And behind the wand, I was going to mention it, there was a little sun. I don't know if I mentioned it. It's kind of looking like this. You gained clarity. You were starting to see that this was going nowhere when we saw that Six of Swords in reverse. And you're like, I want a new beginning. And you were finally seeing the light. There's a little light here. And your person is going to sit here long enough in the moonlight till the sun comes. And I don't know how long, because again, time isn't linear here, but it does happen in a way where nothing is forever and everything's constantly changing. But one thing's for certain, there's cycles of life. After the moon comes the sun. Always. We can't change that about how Mother Nature works. You're sitting in the moonlight, the sun's about to come, it's peeking its head, okay, which means I'm going to have clarity at some point. At some point, I'll have enlightenment. At some point, I'm going to see through my fear. At some point, I'm going to see my subconscious or my emperor in reverse at some point. When's this point? I don't know. But at that point, I'm going to see my path very clearly. That pile number 4 was my person, or at least I was being called down this path. And instead of this, I sat there crying, not seeing, going against my intuition, trying to pull you into my fantasy world or my world of misery. And I sat there staring at the moon rather than going through it with the 3 of Wands with you. Even though I was scared, I could have went through the 3 of Wands and went to a 4 of Wands. So how does your person go from the moonlight to the sunlight all of a sudden to see? Through further communication. So maybe you communicate with this person. I don't know. Maybe they come forward, because they will come forward. Okay, so what's going to happen next? They're going to come forward. There's a reconciliation of sorts. Now, I want to say reconciliation. It's like, do you want to look at my car that's a different color? And you're going to say, no, I'm out living my best life. Like, look at you, Queen of Wands. You're a manifesting machine. And so this is going to drive your person with more urgency. Seeing you like this. I manifest what I want. I get what I want. And I could bring it towards me. I don't need to chase it. I don't need to chase anyone. I'm deserving and I want to be appreciated and seen for who I am. That's what this is. And that's what you want. Okay. And you want the 4 of Wands. And so you have this energetic boundary by saying, I will speak my truth, because the Queen of Wands is very loving and she's also very honest, and she's communicating about the 4 of Wands. She's like, no, I'm manifesting a 4 of Wands. And in order to get a 4 of Wands, I got to get there. Okay, so if you're not here with me, then you're sitting there staring at me sail away. And I'm sailing away, wherever you're going. And so this lover's path is sitting here blocked until your person gets out of the moonlight, recognizes their reverse empress fears, and doesn't hum and haw here. And the urgency is because they're seeing you like this. And this is the most attractive Queen of Wands that has the most pull over masculine energy, because not just her looks, but the desire, the passion. Remember, your person has a lot of devil. It's really pulled to you. And you had an Ace of Wands here. You guys are really passionately pulled. This person has a lot of conflict. They're conflicted. And because trust me, a person with that much bunged up energy and that much subconscious, if they're even getting up their seat to sort of come forward with this Page of Wands, you must have some strong pull, but it's still a page energy. They're still unclear about dealing with their bag of crap here. Okay. And I say bag of crap because I feel like it's all stemmed from fears and subconscious. So it's not even true. Just a whole bunch of who shot John. So let's take a look. Yeah, look at this. King of Pentacles in reverse. Can't provide the stability, the security, can't commit, because that would be this 3 of Wands. It's like, I want to get there to the 4 of Wands. Can't, not in a position to do this. Well, why not? Why not? Maybe they're not. Because they say they're not. Okay, that's a valid reason. And not because I say I'm not. And look, 3 swords. Pain, suffering, sadness, because we're not experiencing this. 9 Wands, defensive, but I'm not going to give up. And that's the energy that I just saw here. I can't do this, but I don't want to give up. It's like, well, then what are you fighting for? Because you're not giving anything. This is suffering. This is prolonging suffering. So if you're in this person's world, it's like you can suffer with them by staying in this, and them not giving you anything here and not being able to commit and saying, come back. I want to fight for this. Fight for what, though? Fight for nothing. You're creating suffering because you know what you want and they know what they want. So there's a conflict of opinion here, or like contradicting opinions. You want one thing, they want another, or at least they think that they are only capable of one thing, and you have a choice to make too. Do you want to go in this world where you're limited? Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but they're definitely not giving up. And I don't know what there is to fight for, convincing you to stay in the world. That's what they don't want to give up. I won't give up talking to you and convincing you to come look at my car that's the wrong color. Car analogy keeps coming through. So someone might work on cars, like cars. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, I'd have to do this to be a King of Pentacles. and I don't have the confidence, or I'm just so stubborn that I can't, I don't know, put the energy, the effort, the dedication, and the commitment over and over and over and over and over again in order to build something here. Or I just really lack the confidence that I don't even bother because it's going to fail anyway. It's going to fail anyway. It's going to fail anyway. Big fear. 10 swords. Beautiful angels. It's not good, but it could be good. But it's not good. Do you know what I'm saying? There's no good and there's no bad. Where this is headed is a 10 swords in the energy that this person is in, because I think you're sailing away. This energy has done the work. You're not staying in a world of Mickey Mouse here, fantasy and illusion. But I think you're healed enough to communicate with this person if they come around here. Okay, but I don't think you're entertaining any of this stuff. It's like, are we building a Four of Wands? Are you in a King of Pentacles? Do you have this Ace of Pentacles to offer me? No? Well, then there's nothing to work to. Then I guess it's over. Whatever pie in the sky is over here. And I think you've already processed a 3 swords in the past. And guess what your person is going to be processing? A 3 swords and a 10 swords. This is ow, 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 ow. Ow, ow, ow. And only because of this suffering do we finally say, I have to get out of suffering. What's creating my suffering? The fact I have fear, the fact I have subconscious beliefs, the fact that I see myself through belief, illusion, attachment to stories. I have low self-confidence, or a need to be right, or a need to have control. All of this stuff is getting in my way. And what did I experience? I experienced a loss. I experienced missing out with the Queen of Wands. And I sat there watching her sort of build her beautiful life here because I chose to look at the fear in the moon. So then we start to do shadow work, because then we want to get enlightened. Why would we want to get enlightened? Because enlightenment isn't for someone 2,500 years ago. Enlightenment just means I'm now seeing clearly reality as it is. I'm aware of reality as it is, not through the eyes of fear and my programming and all of the stories that I told myself were me. That is not true. Just because I say I'm a unicorn doesn't make me a unicorn. If I believe to be this, that, and the other, doesn't make me any of that. I am what I am right in this moment. That is it. The light behind all of this meat suit, the awareness and the consciousness and the essence, that's me. Everything else is just changing, forming. I'm getting older by the second. Cells are changing by the second. And so this person is going to be having some form of realization, awakening, enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, self-realization, once this moon sort of needs to go away. And the only way, because remember I was telling you there's no timeline. I don't know how long this moon's going to sit there and eventually the light comes. This is why there is no set time. Like let's use the world, for example. It's like set, 24 hours. We see the same sort of sky movements in some capacity, obviously, depending on the seasons, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, that has some sort of predictable spacing of time. This, why we don't see it, is because this sunlight only comes when we are here and called by the divine, that we don't want to suffer. And we are actually the carrier of the light, because it comes all of a sudden. We see clearly. It's like, I see now. I see that I shot myself in the foot. It took too long. Didn't do this, didn't do that, was saying this, was saying that. I thought this, I thought that. It was all beliefs. It was all coming from subconscious. It was all fear. And I was trying to do this and trying to do that. And I was all bunged up. And I created all of this. Me. Wow. And where will you be? I don't know. I don't know where you'll be, but it's definitely something that was sort of open here to experience. And maybe behind here, you're like, I'll be open to communicate. And maybe in the future, one day, it could be a choice. But unless it's a Four of Wands here, I'm going to continue reading my book and manifesting people who appreciate me and create things. And I don't know, read tarot and wear my fancy jewels and my beautiful clothes and sit by the beach and read newspapers. I don't know, but you're doing something and you're looking absolutely beautiful. And look at you, full of pentacles and abundance. And so I think you're surrounding yourself with abundance. And I think you can do this in other ways. It doesn't need to be this person, because this person is, again, looking at the toy in a different color, thinking they might have it all, or they're doing it for a very good reason. There's a very good reason I got to be like this. I think I have it figured out. And then this doesn't feel good at all. So that's what I have. Pile number 4. I hope this helped you. I love you guys very much. I hope this helped you. Did I read the signs? I did. Yes. I'll see you guys at the next one. Okay. Bye-bye.